Okay, so I want you to start with this circle protractor template. What we're going to do is we're going to create different angles on here that are very common. People know them really easily just because they're called benchmark angles. We start to memorize them over time by using them. So you might want to get out a few different colors of marker or color pencil. And once you have that ready, go ahead and start the video again. And I want to start showing you some different benchmark angles. And I want you to mark the angles exactly how I marked them. And also change or pay attention to the arcs and write the angle measurement on the outside of the circle. So first of all, I want you to realize that this circle starts at 0 right here, and it goes all the way around to 350 degrees, and another 260 degrees. It's divided into 10 increments, or increments of 10, sorry, 10 degrees all the way around. It also has these small divisions. Each one of these cuts is just one mark. So 1 out of all 360. We're going to be focusing on the most common measurements. So we already know some angles are acute angles, and those are angles that are less than 90. Then we know a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. And we know obtuse angle, oops, sorry, that's not obtuse. Obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees. And we also know that there's a certain angle called a straight line. And so we're going to identify all of those. This is where you're going to start writing, okay? So I'm going to start with a green one. I want to identify the right angles that make up this circle. Sorry, I'm a little bit crooked there. It's hard to draw straight on the computer. Oops. All right. So there's a right angle from here, from this 0, all the way around to here, which is 90 degrees. And I want you to label it as a right angle. Then from this 0 all the way over to 180 degrees, this is considered a straight angle. It's just a straight line. But you'll notice from here to here is another right angle. We have another right angle from here to here. So if that's 90 and this is 90, this would also be 90. So if I add 180 and 90, I get 270. So this angle is 270 degrees. It's another right angle. And then you'll see I have another right angle here. And if you notice, I have made a square in the center. Now mine's not perfect because I'm drawing on the computer. But 90 plus 270 would make 360 degrees. 360 is also the same spot at 0. So we're going to mark 270 and 360. Now, next up, I change to, I want to see what measurement is about halfway of a 90 degree. So halfway is 45. So you notice how I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little spaces. The fifth mark is a little bit longer. So 45 degrees is here. So 45 plus 45, it gives me 90. Well, if it's 90 from 90 to 180, then I know 45 plus 90 would be halfway. So that gives me 135. So oops, sorry, I just went to the wrong spot. So I have to go to 100, 110, 120, 130, and then 5 more. And this one, sorry, I want to draw the arc for the amount that we're measuring for 45. 45 is from here to here. So let's go with yellow here for a second. If I'm going to do 135 degrees, I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go up to 135. You guys Might want to make your lines a little bit better. I got this rainbow one there. And then let's label that 135 degrees. Then let's see if I'm at 180 and I add 35, that puts me at 215, which would be, oh, this is the arc of that angle. Let's go with, I'm trying to find something that's thinner. This is kind of thick, but oh well, we'll try it. So I start at 0 and I go down to 215. Oh, that's terrible. Let me undo that. I'll do hot pink. Start at 0 and I go down to 215. That's another benchmark angle. But I want you to notice how wide this arc is. It starts here and it goes all the way down here. So when I'm drawing this angle, I'm actually going around the outside. I'm not measuring this inside, I'm measuring this outside. Angles that are greater than 180 are called reflex angles. Okay, now I'm going to draw one more angle, make it black. And that is going halfway between 270 and 360 would be 315. So I mark this angle as 315. So our benchmark angles are 45, 90, 135, 180, 215, 270, and 315 and 360. And those are common things. We know 90 is 1/4 of the circle. 45 would be 1/8 of the circle. So we're going to go down and fill in these notes. Leave your benchmark sheet out so you can look at it. Benchmark angles are angles that are we use them to estimate an angle. For example, if I draw this, you start to recognize this is probably about 90 degrees. If I drew this, this looks like it's about 180. So if I did this, that looks like it could be about 45, because that would be about half of 90. So good benchmark angles are 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 120. Wait, what am I doing? Sorry, 135 degrees. I just had a brain freeze for a second. 135 degrees, 180 degrees. You see, I'm just taking them right off of this circle all the way around. So 215 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. Now, looking in problem 1, which of these are acute? The only one that's acute is 45 degrees. Okay. Then we're going to list benchmark angles from problem number 1 that are obtuse. Remember, obtuse means greater than 90. So 135 degrees is greater than 90. Then it says that each degree is really part of a whole turn. We know that 1 degree is 1 out of the 360th of the whole turn. That means 2 degrees is 2 out of the 360th. So, for example, in this fraction, or I'm sorry, in this circle, if I did cut it into a fraction, I'm going to go ahead and erase this line so you guys can see it. You would see that here's one piece. If I counted each little section around here, there would be 360. So 1 out of 360 is indeed this fraction. So we're supposed to use our benchmark angles above to write a fraction. So our first benchmark angle was 45 out of 360. Our next one was 90 out of 360. Then we had 135 out of 360, 180 out of 360, 215 out of 360, 270 out of 360, 315 out of 360, and then 360 out of 360, which made a complete circle. Okay, question 5 says, out of a circle, how many 45-degree angles does it make to make a whole turn? Well, these are 90 degrees, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. That's why they're called a quarter of a turn. Or on a clock, when you're telling time, it's a quarter after when the hand is here. It's halfway when the hand is here, and a quarter until the next hour when your big hand is there. So I want to talk about 45 degrees. Well, I know 45 is half of 90. So I'm going to cut all these 90s in half, and it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles to make a whole turn. So we're going to skip the problem set and get right to the homework page, okay? So I'm going to help you guys with this homework page so that we can be ready to write next week with about 4 minutes. It says identify the measure of the following angles. So we always want to see where one ray passes through 0. We have to follow the arc to see what are we measuring. So we're trying to find the measurement of all of this. It looks like this measurement is 60 degrees. That's where the other ray passes. On part B, the ray is passing through 0. We're going to follow the arc over to 130 degrees. Okay, now we're going to see the ray passing through 0. We have to follow the arc all the way around until it gets where? And it looks like it's between 310 and 320, so 315 degrees. This is one of those reflex angles that we're talking about. Really talking about all of this. Now we're talking about an angle that is at 0, and we're going to follow it all the way around to 120 degrees. Now we have to estimate. Well, I know 90 degrees is a benchmark angle that is straight up and down. So if 90 degrees makes a perfect square, it's not 90, it's definitely not 200. 100 is the best answer. And I remember from our estimation with our benchmark angles that 180 is a straight line, 45 is half of 90, and this sure looks like about half of 90, so 50 is a good estimate. Okay, now let's take a look at this line. Does it look like 90, which would be our benchmark angle that's straight up and down? Not really. Does it look like 45, which is half of 90? No. So the best guess is 155 degrees. This angle, we know 90 is exactly straight up and down, so that's not 90. It's not greater than 90, so 85 would be a good guess. I want you to try doing the exit ticket on your own. If you finish, you can do fact fluency.